Alright, howdy. Welcome back to the HANS video series. We're going to run through this in real time. So we're going to take a normal, off-the-shelf, Lowe's, Home Depot, what have you, mini blind, 1-inch mini blinds. These are metal or aluminum. And we're going to take this motion that we've got here where we can modify the angle of the blinds. Actually, as you can see, all it really does is move this little this shaft back and forth. So when you're changing the blinds, all it does is move the shaft back and forth. So we're going to take this servo motor that we made earlier, and let's see if I plug it in. Take this rotation that it has, attach it to this rod right here. I'm going to modify all this, and we'll see if we can't make it work. So strap in. Alright, so we've got that going right now. So first thing we need to do is unplug this so we can work on it. And I usually unplug it right when it's about at the middle of its travel. Pop this off, put this little screw on. So one of the big things that we're going to have to do is take this tiny little short shaft on this metal gear servo. What I'm doing is lengthening it a little bit right now. And I'm going to put this little collar on it that modifies tinier opening, which is what our shaft is. So that's going to fit in there and kind of clamp on to the bigger opening that this shaft needs. So these are super cheap. They're on Amazon. They're like $1 a piece. Which is pretty affordable these days. They make them for like 3D printers and stuff. So what this actually does is there's this little shaft built into it that when one end stops really suddenly, this whole thing acts like a little bit of a spring. So if your shafts aren't lined up perfectly, this will modify it so that they are lined up perfectly, and you'll get a really nice result every time. So first thing I'm going to do is put that onto there. It's on, but it's not tight enough. Oh, that worked. Actually, let me get the real tool for the job. This Allen key set. Oh, that's way better. Alright, so now when we plug it in, this should rotate back and forth. And you can see it rotates back and forth. It's pretty cool. So what we're going to do is attach that to this. First we have to modify this a little bit, so let's do that. Alright, so first things first, pop the cap off the end. Actually, really first things first. Close the drapes and put them on your bench. These are a little bit heavier duty than I'm used to. Actually, the plastic ones that are like $2 a piece are much easier to modify, but they are plastic, so mileage varies. So right now, because this gearbox is on here, when you spin this, it does spin the shaft, as you can see, but when you just try to spin the shaft like as if you were trying to be our servo back there, it won't really spin, so you have to remove the gearbox. So usually that requires cutting or breaking this. Let's see if I can pull it off. Nope, can't pull it off. So what I'm actually going to do is cut it off using this handy dandy tool that I've got. That won't work. That worked. So wire snips worked great, and they were way safer than a utility knife. So now let's just slide this off. Might need a little bit of force. Let me use my little tiny screwdriver. really get in there and prise it off. Might be able to do is pull it off the other way. Maybe this will work better. Oh, yep, there it is. So that's the real key. So just pull this out. Make sure you don't pull it too far, I guess. And then this whole guy just pulls out. It's kind of down there a little good. Prise it out. One side, then the other side. Alright, so there's that little gear motor. So you can see it's got a, I don't know, hexagon, 6-sided little guy in there, and all that does is turn this back and forth. And it just rides inside that little channel. So now, let's open up those shades again. I'll give you another front view of it. Let's see that here. So all we want to do is change the angle of this by spinning it. And we can do that because we've got this cool little servo here that's cranking away. So let's have a look. I'll wait till it's all the way, until it's about halfway through its rotation, then unplug it. So there it is, about halfway through. And then we can tighten down one, then the other. There's one of the set screws done, and let's plug it in again so we can get to the other set screw. Alright, and then unplug it to stop it, and tighten up that other bad boy, plug it back in. Goes. Let's see, it should be slowly opening and closing the blinds. Here it comes the other way. I think that's pretty cool. And then of course all that's controllable through the CC3200 and then up to the cloud through Cayenne. And that's how you can make controllable window blinds using a servo motor.